This is a text message to Josh Johnson. He is a Department of State employee in Mexico City, and I first texted him, and we were LinkedIn friends. I'm on a VPN. I just paid for a VPN. We are LinkedIn friends since 2014, and what happened is February 2014, and he messaged me, or he actually peeked into my web page, and so this is what I wrote. I sent him to a web page, and the web page is open right now. It's Artom Kotov.com, and this is what I write to Mr. Government employee Josh Johnson. Gay American media center AMC employee Artom Kotov accused me of soliciting prostitutes for material against the United States on Thanksgiving 2019. According to an embassy employee, he filed a fake police report. Why is gay Artom Kotov still working at the AMC? Why hasn't the United States Department answered my Privacy Act request? Now, the person that told me about this was a Mormon. He was the first counselor. A Mormon is a small sect, some people would say cult. It's a Christian cult that originates in Utah, and the Mormons work very closely with the embassy. In fact, in Utah, the CIA recruitment is #1 in Utah at the Brigham Young University, which is a Utah private Mormon school. And so anyway, the person that told me that he filed a police report was Elijah Lawrence, who's also on the web page. He is a State Department employee, or rather a Moscow embassy employee, who has traveled all over the world, who was the person that said this. And then later the bishop, who is actually a lawyer for the Mormon church, and is trying to get the Russian church into Russia, or rather to get the Mormon church into Russia. He was the person that told me later that come to find out Artom Kotov didn't file a police report. So somebody is lying. And as the Iranians called the embassy in 1979, it's a den of spies. The U.S. Embassy, it's literally a den of spies. So the U.S. Embassy in Moscow. So anyway, there's other things that I haven't talked to about that, but I haven't even shared about that. So anyway, I text him, and then he deletes what he said, and he said, "Thank you, sir." And then I write, "Thank you, sir. I miss the kindness of Americans." And then he wrote something, I don't know, Josh, what's his name? Josh Johnson. And he says, yes, he says, "Are you?" I think he's like, "Are you in Moscow?" "Yes, Park Kulturная," which is on the Circle Line and the Red Line. "I have not been to the embassy since Thanksgiving 2019. I protested outside on January 6th, the day of the insurrection in D.C. That lasted 5 minutes before a nice policeman with gray eyes asked me to stop. I did a video on Women's Day outside, but I've never gone inside the gate since then." And that day in the Women's Day, I actually went to the I mentioned that I was going to go to the North Korean embassy and give them my packet in regards to intellectual property. And so I went from the Women's Day on May 8th. I also went to the embassy, or the North Korean embassy in Moscow, and I gave them a packet of information. That's all I'm going to say about what happened as far as security. And then I write, I've never been to Mexico City. I've always wanted to visit Teotihuacan. Is it beautiful, the pyramids? He blinks at what he writes. I'm on a VPN because Russia blocked LinkedIn in approximately 2016. They demanded all servers be relocated in Russia. They threatened all the providers, but LinkedIn was the only one they shut down. Now all the business people in Moscow have moved to Facebook. They use vk.com for social networks and fun. Facebook is only for business. I hope the influx of Central American immigrants will be addressed humanely by your office. American media never explains the wars and instability that the U.S. has caused in the region, spiking with the Reagan administration. And then I said, thank you, sir. Follow your conscience. I wish you only the very best in dealing with the humanitarian disaster. And then he deletes the last message. Again, so I hope the influx of Central American immigrants will be addressed humanely by your office. American media never explains the wars and instability the U.S. has caused in the region, spiking with the Reagan administration. And there's a long history with that. The World Court actually found that the United States was guilty. Several of the members used the word terrorism. The CIA actually mined the harbors of, I believe it was I'm pretty sure it was Nicaragua, and the World Court found that was guilty. And again, many of the members used the word terrorism, and the Reagan administration, as a result, they basically said, you know, to hell with you, and responded by actually increasing the war in Nicaragua, and later I believe that the United States is no longer a member of the World Court, a World Court that they helped create.